Hello everyone, Ben here. Last month, RaceRoom developers Sector 3 teased the inclusion of online championships to RaceRoom as an evolution of the excellent ranked racing system we have at the moment. Few details were offered, nor even a timeline for when we might see championships become a reality in RaceRoom. However, this could be such a big step for the sim that I've spent the last few weeks thinking about the things I'd like to see feature, especially those things that could ensure the introduction of championships helps bring more players to the platform. If at any point you find yourself enjoying the video, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Only 10% of my subscribers so far have done so, which means a lot of you are risking missing out on new content as it goes live. Although the RaceRoom online player base is growing, it remains relatively small, and so it makes sense in the rollout of championships to identify one popular series that the majority of players already own. GT3 and World Touring Cars are the two standout candidates here, with weekly servers usually packed out. It doesn't really matter which the developers select, as both will ultimately become mainstays of the system. But because it's such a distinctive part of the RaceRoom stable, I'd opt for the World Touring Cars on tracks that are owned by the majority of players for the first season of championship racing. Implementing a tiered system which pits drivers against those of similar ability by rating level is likely to be the trickiest part. iRacing does this brilliantly, but with a lower player base it will be more challenging in RaceRoom. The Gold, Silver and Bronze divisions of the weekly ranked events, where drivers are separated by minimum ratings, with Gold being 1700 and above, Silver 1550 and above and Bronze completely open, could be a decent enough starting point. Keeping the seasons short would also be smart in my opinion. iRacing currently runs 12-week seasons 4 times a year, but in the prototype phase I'd say a shorter 4 to 6 week season makes sense for RaceRoom to test and learn lessons quickly and implement changes for the next season. At least initially I'd keep championship races limited to 2 or 3 slots a day. That mean all time zones have an evening slot to participate in, while the regular schedule of daily ranked races continues. This would hopefully ensure championship races are well populated as people are funneled into the same sessions. The longer daily races have set a good precedent for this kind of thing. Speaking of race length, at first I'd set these around 20 to 25 minutes. Longer than a regular ranked race, but short enough to be accessible for most racers. And it's also a good length for most car classes. And finally, I'd award championship points to everyone who participates, even if you finish last, with the level of points awarded for each position determined by the strength of field and the skill tier that you're competing in. At the end of the week, the round of the championship would close and your strongest result would represent your score for that round. So, in summary, a single championship in a popular class on tracks that most people own, a short 4 to 6 week season to help the developers learn lessons and improve quickly, simple skill tiers and limited race times to ensure full grids, short race lengths to not put people off, and a simple but generous championship point system. Easy. Well, sort of. For me, the most important thing in bringing something new to ranked racing in RaceRoom is that the focus on close, fair and reliable online racing isn't lost. With that in mind, at least initially, I'd keep setups for these championship races fixed. There's a real risk that with a lower player base, meaning fewer tiers of competition, that those with the quicker speed and the ability to set up their car end up dominating races, and that we see too great a spread of the field. In the future, as the feature is developed, we could see a mix of fixed and non-fixed championships, as we see in iRacing. I'd also consider increasing the rating and reputation bonuses you can get for participating, to try and encourage people to take part and to recognise the status of the championships themselves. And on the flip side, I'd also increase the penalties for being involved in incidents and quitting early. Although relatively blunt instruments, raising the stakes for participating and driving cleanly should ultimately improve the quality of the racing involved. And finally, although it may mean that this feature is only rolled out in Europe initially, I would maintain geographic server groups to ensure the most stable connections. In my opinion, the risk that opening out championships to participants from across the globe could lead to netcode issues, glitching cars and server crashes is too high, when the priority must be a positive and enjoyable experience for those who take to the grid. Finally, why would I choose to compete in an online championship, and what would make me want to keep coming back to run races multiple times each round? Being honest, at my skill level, it certainly isn't because I think I'm going to win it. If RaceRoom wants people to participate in these championships and keep coming back for more, there are going to need to be rewards and incentives open to all players, regardless of skill level and experience. Fundamentally, there should always be something that you're racing towards, and in my view that needs to go beyond rating and championship point numbers in an online spreadsheet. Currently, RaceRoom does offer incentives and rewards on some of its leaderboard challenges, usually in-game currency prizes for the top 3 times set. This kind of thing could be an option, but again risks only being relevant for the super fast aliens or those with the most amount of time to grind out performance. Instead, I'd look to what MMO style games offer in other genres and introduce a series of commendations, in-game trophies and cosmetic rewards for different levels of championship participation and performance. What do I mean by this? Well, for every championship season, for example, the game could offer up to 10 commendations or achievements to earn, from participating in every round, achieving a podium, a win, or a set amount of championship points for the season. Earning achievements could then unlock in-game trophies to be displayed in your profile page, as well as being recorded in your in-game racing history. After all, if this really is an online racing career, this stuff counts, right? Achieving multiple commendations could unlock special helmet designs for your in-game avatar, and achieving all commendations could unlock a special championship-themed car livery for players to drive in all game modes in the future. Both really tangible ways of showing off your success to the rest of the RaceRoom community. As online championships expand in the future, these special helmet designs and liveries could become quite collectible and would be a brilliant way of bringing more personal identity to livery choices, given the lack of customization options in-game. This sort of system would ensure that regardless of your skill level, you should have something that you're racing towards. It would help bring the idea of an online racing career and the player profile pages that support it to life. And it would provide incentives for everyone to keep racing and earn rewards that show off your progress and success in-game, without giving you any advantage on the track. So these are my ideas for how RaceRoom can best implement its new championship feature in online ranked racing. What do you think? Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with the suggestions I put forward, or if you have other ideas as to how RaceRoom can make a success of online championships in the future. And if you want to see more RaceRoom and iRacing action, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the races, guides and opinion pieces we have coming up. And I'll see you next time.